Hello, students. Good morning. Now, I am going to present the fourth unit topics. The fourth unit is data preparation and analysis. The fourth unit consists of two sections. First part of the fourth unit is data preparation, and the second part is analysis. Today, we are going to see the first part of this unit, that is data preparation. After the data has collected from the respondent, it need to do further processing. Otherwise, if you use that raw data in analysis, it will not produce any meaningful or useful outcome to the research. So that we are going to prepare data into meaningful, as well as we have to prepare data for performing the task of analysis in a better way. In data preparation, we do cleaning and transformation process. We clean and transfer the data for doing analysis part easily as well as betterly. So why we prepare a data? So why data need to be prepared? The following points we are going to see. These are the reason the data is prepared before it put into analysis part. The first one, with the help of preparation, we can check its adequacy. That means data adequacy we can check. It means we can check the sufficient of information the data has or not. That can be checked through data preparation. Second one, is there any information are left by the respondents that can be identified through data preparation? That is second point. Third one, we got a complete as well as acceptable information from the questionnaire or not. That can be authenticated or that can be identified through data preparation. And last one, we can clarify any important informations are omitted in the data or not. That can be identified through data preparation. These are the reason for doing data preparation. First one, in order to check the sufficiency of the data. Second, any informations are left out by the respondents. Third, to check the completeness of the information. And fourth one, any important data is omitted or not. These are things we can identify or get know through perform data preparation. Second, the data preparation has the following steps. See here, it has the following steps. First one, gathering. We can gather the data from questionnaire by use questionnaire. We can gather data from the respondents. After data is gathered from the respondents, it will go to the discover stage. Discover is nothing. We can find the informations which we get from the respondents are fully reached to us or not. That is discover stage. After discovering the information what you got from the respondents, that information will be put into cleaning session. In the cleaning stage, we do editing work. We can discard unnecessary information. These are things we do in the cleaning stage. After cleaning, data will be transferred into uh, coding section, or it will be transferred into tabulation or table form. That is transformation stage. After that, it will be enriching stage. It will be get ready to use for analysis, or the data, the prepared data is ready for do some calculations or some mathematical applications. It get ready to apply any mathematical applications. So this outcome will be stored in the report format, or it will be stored in the system. So these are the stages of data preparations. Okay. After data is prepared, it can be used for further analysis. Actually, data preparation has these are the following stages. But in our syllabus, we are going to see editing, coding, data entry, and data validity. So these are topics we are going to see under data preparation. So the first topic we are going to see under data preparation is editing. In editing, a researcher check the completeness, accuracy, and the consistency of the data and arrange those data in a systematic manner. It is known as editing. So you may know what is editing process. Editing, we simply tell, editing means cutting of unnecessary informations and join only necessary informations in the sequential order is called editing. During data collection, there will be some lack of uniformity. That means there will be some absent of sequential order of data after it was collected from the respondents. So it, in order to make it as a in order to make it in the sequential order, we go for editing. So editing helps us to arrange our data in a systematic manner. It is called editing. These are the need for conducting editing work. The first one, editing, make clarifications among the responses. Through editing, we can correct grammatical errors or spelling in the responses, spelling mistakes in the responses. These are uh, correct. This mistakes can correct through editing process. So this is the purpose we do editing job. Second, to make some omissions in the data. It means is the, any data, that means any incompleted or any irrelevant or any mistake data can discard through editing work. Third, avoid biased editing. That means through editing we should not remove any important informations, as well as we should not add any informations without any reasons. So without any reasons we can't add any informations, or we can't able to discard or remove any informations from the data set without any knowledge. So these things we do in the editing. So editing can be performed in two types. There are two forms of editing. One is field editing and second one is in-house editing. In field editing, during the time of collecting the responses from the people or respondent, a researcher make some corrections, or on the spot during the time of collecting any response, any corrections or mistakes comes, he do it on the spot of data collection is called as field editing. In-house editing, after data is collected, the editing work will be performed in the head office, is called in-house editing. The field editing, other name for field editing is how to tell, it is called on the spot correction or editing is called field editing. But in-house editing we do it at later, after data collection is over. Collected data will be carried to the head office and go through it by some other peoples. During that stage, the resource person, those who go through the data, he makes some corrections, is called as in-house editing. Next is coding. Coding is nothing, is a process of identifying and assigning numerical values or any symbols to edited data is called as coding. See here, there is one example question is there. How this question's answers are coded here. See now, the question is which magazines do you read? That is a question. It has 5 alternative answers: Hindustan Times, Business Standard, Economic Times, The Hindu, and last one is Times of India. So these are 5 alternative answers this question has. So the each answer will be coded as numbers. For example, for Hindustan Time is coded as 1, Business Standard is coded as 2. Like that we have to put code for this 5 answers of this question. This is called coding. So the coding can be performed through some rules. There are two rules you have to follow during the time of coding. That rules are exhaustive coding and exhausting rules in coding, and mutually exclusive and independent rule in coding. Take first exhaustive. In exhaustive, the categories should exist for all possible responses. For example, these are categories. The question has 5 categories. This 5 categories represent all possible responses. For example, is there only 5 magazines? A category can be used to represent these 5 magazines. If it is goes beyond the 5, the category will be expand. It will be go beyond to 5 or 6 or 7 like that. See here, it has an example also. For example, the household size might be coded as 1 to 5 or more than 5. This 5 and more than 5 will be included in the category, that is exhaustive category. How many categories are there? Here there are 5 categories. If there any categories goes beyond the 5, it also include in the code. Second one, mutually exclusive and independent rule. It means during coding process there should not be any overlapping in the categories. That means any category you specified should not repeat once again. It will comes once in the sequence. It will not repeat again. If it repeat again, it will spoil the outcomes. That means if any categories comes once again, we can't get the accurate outcomes of analysis. So these are the two rules. The first rule is whatever answers you have it for the question, that should be included in the category, that is exhaustive. Second one, the category should not be repeated. It's each category represent unique values. That value should not repeat again. For example, take B is the business standard. If the business standard news magazine comes again in F, it will be make duplications of outcome. So that the rules says that there should be a mutually exclusive category, that is independent. Each category need to be an independent one. It should not be repeat again. So these are two rules of code construction. Next, see here, you can easily understand what are variables, what are categories. See this question here. The magazine is a variable. The magazine is a variable, but categories are this 5. Name of the magazines are called as category. So in coding, we do coding work in categories, not in variables. See here, these are variables. Gender can be divided into male and female, like age are divided into 3 categories. See this question, do you like ice cream? It answer can be divided into 2 categories. In coding, you are going to make numeral values or symbol to categories, not for variables. Okay. After coding is over, the coded data will put in data matrix. We know what is matrix. It has rows and columns. After coding work has completed, the coded data will be arranged into matrix. So the matrix is organized into this three areas. Data matrix is organized into field, record and file. So field is nothing, a collection of character that represent a single type of data. That is, see here, these are field: gender, age, this question, do you like ice cream? These are field. Record, a collection of related field, that is field related to same case. The field related to same case is called as a record. A gender, it has two categories. So these categories are called as recorded. So the collection of field and categories are called as file. So like that, data, the coded data will organized into matrix in field format, record format and file format. So the entire content, that is variable categories, are organized here as a file format. This is called data matrix. Next, third area we are going to see now is data entry. After responses have been coded, that data will be entered into database. In order to enter a data into system or any database, we use so many softwares, but in research, especially in social research, we use SPSS software for entering data into the system or computer. So there are different source we can use for entering a data after a data is coded. First one, the first source of data entry is programs, database programs. It provides file creations, data entry, update, query and reporting functions. Second source is optical recognition. Through use electronic or a mechanical device, we can enter a data. That means we can enter a typed or handwritten data into machine by using some using some optical scanners or recognition devices. Third, codes, barcodes or digital codes. This is a third source of entering data into system. In this method, data are enter into the system through scanning of or reading of machine reading or scanning of visuals or any barcodes. Through scanning, the data will be entered into the system. Third, voice recognition. Here, by using some software programs or some hardware devices will able to decode the human voice. So nowadays uh, some important informations or even some passwords are encoded by voice recognition system. The voice will be encoded uh, by the mechanism to save or retrieve purpose. Next is keyboard. So primary or basic method of entering data into database by the keyboard. So these are different sources of entering data into the system. Next, fourth one, data validity. It means accuracy of the data and the quality of the data before it goes to the processing stage or importing stage. Before it goes to process, the data need to be a quality one. That means, is there any mistakes, or is there any corrections, or is there any lack of informations available in data? It will not be useful for further process or analysis. So the data before enter into the process, we need to check it validity. So the validity checking process of data ensure to have a knowledge about the correctness and responsibleness of the data we possessed with us. So this data validity has several types. There are 4 types of validity checking we do for ensure data quality. First one, data type validation. Data type validation. So here we can ensure the validity of data by user interface. That means with the help of users' expectations, we can how to tell, we can compare the data with the expected standard of users. If it is the collected data is matched with the expected standards or needs of the users, it will be a valid one or it will be useful one. Second one, range checking. That means the length, minimum and maximum length of data availability. If you want maximum level of data in a particular field, it need to fill up your expectations. So your expectation is maximum, the actual available data is minimum, is not satisfy the user's expectations. Whatever a user expect, if user want minimum level of data, it should be in the minimum level. If they want maximum data, if they want maximum value in the data, it need to have maximum value. So that is called range checking. So with the help of checking its range, we can predict its quality, that is data quality. The code checking, it is nothing, preparing some lookup tables, that is verification standards. We have to prepare some standard, or we have to hold some standard code for checking or verifying data with that. For example, if you want 30 percentage of information in particular field, after information is collected, you have to compare that percentage of information with the already specified or already made lookup codes. That is called code checking. So for example, if the code you prepared a lookup code as 5, after data is collected, the collected data will be compared with the lookup code with the 5. So collected data is also 5. So we can assure that the data has quality. Or otherwise, if a collected data has 4 values instead of 5, you will discard that data because of lack of quality in this collected data. Last one, complex validity. Here, uh, we use some procedures, complicated procedures. Uh, when it become when the rules will become complicated, it is nothing complicated. Complex validity means we have to frame more than one rule for accepting data content. The data need to fill up this constraints, for example, time constraints, uh, sequence constraints, informative constraints. So more than one, we have to frame so many rules for accepting data validity is called complex validity. So these are different types of validity we can use to check the collected data has quality information or collected data has accuracy informations with it. So with this, I conclude the first part of the fourth unit, data preparation. So after that, after data preparation is over, the next stage start with the data analysis. So we will see the next stage later. That means in the next lecture we will see about data analysis part. So thank you very much.